Governor Kristi Noem is a rancher, farmer, small business owner, and now a New York Times best-selling author of This Is Not My First Rodeo, Lessons Learned from the Heartland. In 2010, after serving in the South Dakota legislature for several years, Governor was elected to serve as South Dakota's lone member of the U.S. House of Representatives. During her time in Congress, in addition to many other successes, Governor Noem helped pass the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which put back $2,400 in the average South Dakota family's pocket. In 2018, with the platform of protecting South Dakota against tax increases, government growth, federal intrusion, and government secrecy, she was elected as South Dakota's first female governor. In 2022, Governor Noem was re-elected with the largest vote total in South Dakota history. As Governor Noem has respected the rights of the people and trusted them to exercise their personal responsibility to make the best decisions for themselves and their loved ones, and in turn their communities. She has focused on the building of stronger families and keeping South Dakota open for business. Despite all of these accomplishments, Governor Noem often says her greatest accomplishment is raising her family. 3 children, Cassidy, Kennedy, and Booker, along with her husband Brian, all have a deep love for their family and an even deeper love for their Lord. Will you please help me in welcoming Governor Noem?
Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody. Well, Lance, I am all up in your business. If I move this podium any closer to you, you're going to get awful nervous, aren't you? I walked in the door and one of my staff members was telling me that I would be sitting at a table with a bunch of distinguished guests, so thank you so much for sitting with me. I was sitting here visiting with Adam for quite a while, asking him questions, talking to him, and then he said to me, is that on the record? And that's when I realized you put me at a table with a journalist. So I'm trying to figure out if you all like me or if you don't. I'm teasing. No, the funny discussion we were having was about the SDSU Jackrabbits winning. I can share this, can't I, Adam? Of course I'm going to throw you under the bus. But we were talking about them winning the national championship, and Adam asked, the Jackrabbits, where are they? Are they from SDSU? And we said yes. And he goes, listen, I've just learned as a journalist, you just ask the stupid questions. And I said, well, that's kind of funny because I have a card on my desk that one of my staff members put during a conference call during COVID that literally says, you don't have to answer their stupid questions. I said, it's been there for 3 years now. I said, it's what I love about South Dakota and what I love about this group here and the chance that I get to do my job every day is that we can all just be normal human beings. And we can laugh together, we can go through challenging times together, but yet we take those challenges and we turn them into opportunities. And that's what we do better than anywhere else. I think that really is our testimony for the state of South Dakota. There is no doubt that since I've been your governor, South Dakota has had incredible challenges. In fact, for the first time in history, I think in the entire country, I have been a governor that has had National Guard activated every single day since I've been governor, which means they've been deployed overseas. They've also been deployed to the southern border. They've been here responding to crises such as bomb cyclones and flooding and derechos and pandemics. But what South Dakota has done is really taken all of those challenges and turned them into opportunities. And I think that really is remarkable, and it's something that I'm so thankful that Adam today is recognizing us for, and that he's here to announce to all of you, to pat you on the back and say, keep going, and keep winning, and keep doing it for the people that live here and want to raise their kids and grandkids here. Look at him, he is literally typing an article right now. Are you seriously? This is intense. You are so lucky that you came to give us an award. Yeah, so there we go. All right, I'll be smart. I won't say anything. I was telling him earlier, I said, I live with the reality every day. No, you can do it. It's fine. I'll forgive you. It just has to be nice. I said, I live with the reality that every time I say something, and if it's stupid, that I could cost a lot of people their jobs. So you always live with the responsibility that what you say should be something that will help us, people recognize how important they are, and that the work that we do every day is incredibly important. So I'm thrilled to be invited to be a part of this today, to stand up and to recognize the local leaders who made this happen. And when you look at the definition of local leaders, it's the people on the ground. I'm so impressed with Andrew, you guys. I tell you what, your economic development professional, I call him your guru, your economic development czar. I meet during legislative session with people that bring their communities and their community leaders, every day to sit down with us and to talk about what their communities need. Every time a community comes in, I'm like, man, you guys still aren't killing it like North Sioux City. You're not quite there yet. You're getting there, but you're not quite there. You have been the bright spot for South Dakota, and I use you as an example literally every single day for how you cooperate. You cooperate with the leaders in the city, the community, what you do with folks in the business industry, the CEOs, but also what you do to benefit your families that really need a better way of life, a better quality of life. And that is a unique partnership that you have mastered, that I hope you don't mind if I tell that story to people in other communities about how they really can knock it out of the park each and every day to benefit the families that are there. South Dakota has a lot of good news to tell right now. We have the strongest economy that we've ever had in the country. I knew when I ran for governor and talked about South Dakota being an example to the nation, that we needed to grow our economy and recruit more people to live here. Frankly, our population just wasn't growing and businesses were leaving, and we needed to turn that around. We have done that by rising to those challenges and doing it in a way that was very, very unique and special. We are growing population at 5 times the national average. We have done the largest economic development project in the state's history this year by breaking ground on a $1 billion project that could expand and be 2 or 3 times larger than that in the next 5 years. We've continued to expand the businesses that are here and allow them the chance to keep more of their dollars in their pockets, return it back to their individuals that work with them, and to allow them the opportunity to be successful. Our incomes in South Dakota are going up faster than anywhere else. Our kids are outperforming students in the classroom than anywhere else in the country. They're doing better because they were in their classrooms and they were with their teachers and their way of life wasn't totally disrupted. We've got a lot of good news. The best news for us as well is that we have certainty. We have predictability. We live in an environment where the tax environment's going to be stable, the regulatory burdens are going to be stable and not continue to be very volatile like we see at the federal level so often, and that we're going to continue to keep our focus on making our way of life better. There are a few things that we're doing during legislative session that I hope you all recognize is here to come and to help all of you. We have talked about the fact that because we're growing so fast, we have some growing pains. We've passed a bill that is going to put historical amounts of dollars into housing projects to partner with communities and developers to make sure that we're out there getting the kind of housing we need. If people want to come into a community, they have to live somewhere. Their kids have to have a great school to go to, and that's part of the package that they need to make that happen, and we're going to be getting that done very soon and quickly here. We also have focused extensively on childcare. How many of you run into people who are challenged with getting to work every day because they're just not certain where their kiddos will go during the day? So we have some unique opportunities here for grants and partnerships with childcare providers and marketing for individuals to go into that field to recognize that they are growing our future leaders and developing them, and how important that career profession really is. Focused extensively on paid family leave. It is a package that a lot of our businesses in the state aren't able to offer because they can't afford it. We're working in a new way to get a package out there to help these businesses offer paid family leave to their families so that it can be something that they really can take advantage of to help those individuals. We also are really focused on making sure people can get to work as soon as they hit the ground. Today I have a couple of special guests that are with me. I've brought the 2 sponsors of a bill that we worked with this legislative session to recognize all out-of-state licenses as soon as they hit South Dakota. So we did this a few years ago when I first became governor. We recognized those individuals' licenses that were moving here that were tied to the military. So if someone was going to be moved to a different base in our state, maybe they were coming as a part of the National Guard or to Ellsworth Air Force Base, many times their spouse, if they were a nurse or a teacher, or if they were someone who required a license to get to work, it would take them 6 to 8, sometimes 9, 10 months to get their license so that they could actually get back to work here in South Dakota. So 3 years ago, we brought a bill that fixed that for our military families. Last year, we brought it to recognize those licenses from out of state for healthcare professions. This year, we are doing virtually almost every other license in the state of South Dakota. We will recognize that professional license when they get here so they can get right to work and be a part of your solution that you need to fill the jobs that you have right here today, that you're looking for people. And it's incredibly important. I know just from a couple of those industries, electricians, plumbers, the jobs that we have open today, it's almost 1,000 jobs in South Dakota that those folks can get to work right away. We know in the next 2 or 3 years, it could be up to 4,000 or 5,000 jobs that could be filled just by passing this bill and signing it into law. So I've invited, we're gonna go to Sioux Falls and do a bill signing ceremony after this, but I know it is something that you all and your leaders have talked to me about being incredibly important to get done as well. And they are with me on this trip, so I'd like to ask Senator Jim Stalzer to stand and Representative Tyler Tortzen, who's with me today. They sponsored this bill this year in the legislature and they got it across the finish line. They were very convincing and got it done. You know, many times you think things like that shouldn't be hard. But they are. I think Governor Dugard brought a bill much like this just a few years ago and it did not pass and it faced a lot of challenges and it was nice to see such overwhelming support in the legislature for getting it done, and a lot of it is because you've got, you know, thoughtful individuals who spent a lot of time at making sure that their other members of the legislature were well informed and got it done and got it across the finish line. Listen, I think today should be a day that we all look at you and what you're doing and how we can replicate it. How we can see, you know, we know that there still will be challenges, inflation, supply chain issues that are coming. My solution is that we would, all the supplies that we need, what we need to help our industries thrive and grow, we might as well just move them here and start getting the entire system here in South Dakota and this region if we can. But the way we have thought out of the box to get things done the last 3 or 4 years, I think, is incredible. And those ideas come from you. They come, I think many times people will say, you know, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but would you consider looking at this? That's where most of our good policies come from. With the historic revenue and surpluses we're seeing in South Dakota right now, we have opportunities to do really big things. Now, I'm not gonna lie, my biggest dream of what I would like to do in South Dakota is probably to build a NASCAR track. I don't know if I'm gonna get that done, but before I leave, I'm gonna try really hard to get that done. But we all have, you know, different things that we would like to accomplish, but those dreams and those visions come from you. They come from you and working with us in a way that I just think hasn't been possible in the past. We've got different programs that you can tap into. We've got a ready loan fund that businesses can use for low interest financing to do something new and innovative. We can partner with you and the local community on LIP grants and put packages together with the Governor's Future Fund and make packages work. So if you've got an idea or something that you can do to benefit this region, boy, keep bringing them to us, because it is something that when I talk to other governors of other states, they just don't have the tools that we have in South Dakota. They don't have the flexibility that we have in our state because of our low regulatory burden, and they don't have the revenue that we have. Because of the way we've approached the last several years, we have permanent growth in our economy. I'm working on giving the largest tax cut back to the people of South Dakota because I think it's incredibly important that we recognize who really worked this magic for us. It was the people who got up every single day and they went to work, and they paid their bills, and they took care of their kids, and they invested in their businesses, and they continued to live a way of life that talked about freedom and liberty. And because of that, we have permanently recruited people to this state and businesses to this state that have changed us forever in a very, very good way. It's time those taxpayers recognized that that kind of approach to government is what benefits them, and they can turn around and utilize those dollars in their pockets to help their families going forward as well. It's important that we know we fund our priorities, we invest in our kids, we take care of people who need help, but that we also recognize the value of the worker. I am focused wholeheartedly this next year on telling the story about the value of a work ethic. One of the things we've seen go away the last 4 years is people recognizing the importance of getting up every day and having a purpose, of recognizing we were created to serve and to go out, and that we'll be better fulfilled, that we will be happier spiritually, mentally, and physically if we have a purpose every day that we get up and we go do. And so as a state, we are focusing on helping you tell that story, that not only do you have a job, but what that can do for an individual and for a family to have a work ethic, to go out there and live a life of significance. That do it through your job so that you have the ability to serve others each and every day and continue to strengthen this state. So I appreciate you and all that you do. It's no surprise to me that you're rock stars once again. You will continue to do that over and over again. You better get frequent flyer miles every time you're coming, Adam. So we appreciate all of you being here. Thank you for being here and for focusing on this region in our state. We appreciate it. It's been a gift to see all the hard work that you all have put in and to see it recognized at the national level like this. Congratulations. Thank you.